Hello there, Michelle here. Today on JRR, we are bringing you an exclusive investigation where our best journalists have conducted interviews on different individuals' experiences of various academic aspects within primary school over the decades. First off, let's cross over to Beck for more on the transformation of behaviour management over the decades. Thank you, Michelle. Today I come to you with a closer look on behaviour management within the classroom over the decades through our JRR exclusive 3-decade schooling experience interview. Christine shared her experiences of schooling during the 1940s in Yorkshire, England, and she made it explicitly clear that there was strict discipline to ensure all students were well behaved. Christine further expressed that negative reinforcement strategies were implemented by teachers to reduce misbehaviour within the classroom, in particular through the use of the cane, being a harsh physical punishment. Jan, who attended school during the 1970s, had a very similar experience to Christine in terms of behaviour management, as she explains that her teachers focused heavily on disciplining students, with students always doing as told. These experiences can be compared to the newly transformed behaviour management within the classroom, as Phoenix provides an insight into his mid-2000s schooling experience. Phoenix explains that his teachers took on a more relaxed approach when managing student behaviour, which correspondingly allowed students to feel more comfortable rather than anxious in their learning environment. Phoenix's insight cemented the idea that in more recent years there has been a greater emphasis on establishing the classroom as a positive learning environment to reduce misbehaviour in the classroom. Now we will cross over to Riley, who will take a further look into the transformation of teaching styles over the decades.
Thank you, Beck. Teaching styles are extremely important when it comes to teaching, and we can see that they have changed drastically over time, specifically from the 1940s to the 2000s. These teaching styles can directly impact the students' level of engagement and the performance of the students' working class. Through the interviews that we conducted, it is clear to see the change in importance of different subjects. The interviews from the 1940s and 1970s state that most of the lessons were heavily based around English as the main goal of the lesson. These students were taught this through mostly copying notes on the blackboard, which is an authoritative approach where students are expected to listen and complete the task without interaction. The 2000s interview stated that math and English were the most targeted subjects, but other subjects were implemented throughout the day consistently. This shows the teachers changing styles to help students have a broader and deeper knowledge in a range of different subjects. Quote, "The teachers were relaxed and nice to all the students. They normally would let us work in groups on the interactive whiteboard." End quote. This quote from the 2000s interviews shows the change over time from strict authoritative style to a style that allows for all students to get involved in the activities and create relationships with the teachers. We can also see through the interviews that earlier on teachers would base the learning around themselves, but now in the 2000s, students' learning is based around them. This is known as a student-centered learning, and this allows for students to take control of their learning, which helps with engagement and deeper understanding. Now, we'll be passing it over to Gemma, who will talk about the implications of student learning.
Thanks, Riley. The different teaching styles, as well as the behaviour management styles outlined within these interviews, have clearly been modified over time, moving from a traditional style of learning to a more modernised approach. However, the impact of this is highlighted in the learning experiences of these individuals, allowing educators to analyse why these teaching and behaviour management methods have been changed and whether these variations have had positive or negative impacts on student learning. The research presented within this report demonstrates first-hand accounts of student experiences and the effects of these learning methods on the primary school education of these individuals. These include the disciplinary learning styles implemented by educators and the strict punishments for unsatisfactory behaviour in the classroom. The participants from the 1940s and the 1970s who described these traditional classroom environments evidently did not all depict enjoyable primary school experiences, particularly when compared to the learning experiences of the participant who described a more modernised style of learning. As a result of this research, both current and future teachers will be able to identify effective learning methods that will ultimately enhance the academic achievement of their students, demonstrating the implications on their overall learning. This also catalyses the curiosity of many regarding how teachers and behaviour management styles in schools will continue to change into the future. That concludes tonight's story. Thank you for joining us this evening, and from our team at JRR, good night.